Welcome back to BVarsity Live. Zach Ewing here in the TBC Media Studios. Trevor Horn stepped out just for a minute. He'll be back. Again, we're going to have Cody Kessler on at some point this afternoon. Might be a tape segment, might be live. We're not sure yet. And the guy who knows that better than anybody is his dad, Donnie Kessler. Donnie, thanks for being here.
Hey, glad to be here, Zach. Thanks, appreciate it.
We were the original guest in this equation, and then Cody came up into town, and we thought, well, if we can get him on, that's a coup for us, so let's do it.
Absolutely.
And my first question for you, as I look at your shirt and your hat, how much orange and brown has entered your wardrobe in the last 6 days?
Yeah, you know, we got a few shirts. Cody got a big bag of stuff when they kind of like as a greed thing with different sizes, and we're in the process of ordering things, obviously, but there were some shirts in there that we were able to grab, and Cody had some sweatshirts and T-shirts and stuff like that. They gave them. We went back in hats.
If you are the one Bakersfield sports fan who doesn't know, Cody was drafted in the 3rd round of the NFL draft last Friday, the 93rd pick overall by the Browns, and their top quarterback taken, and expected, I guess, they've pretty much come out and said it, to compete for the starting job in the fall, even though they signed Robert Griffin III. They have Josh McCown as a holdover and those sort of things, but Cody's going to be in the mix with those guys. And I know, I mean, proud pops, obviously, but what was that moment like for you, if you can put it into words?
Yeah, it was really, you know, Cody had a real small group of just close family and friends. There was probably about 12 of us over there, and Coach Nixon, a really special part of our family, and he and I were talking, and, you know, they got there from the start of the 2nd round till it was over, and, you know, all those kind of things go through your head, and we had an idea, and one of the things Cody told his agent, you know, his agent called, and his name is Andrew Kessler, ironically.
I was going to ask, but bring that up. That's funny.
Yeah, it really is. But Andrew was sitting there, and Cody did not want to know anything. Didn't want to know if anybody reached out to him, if anybody had said anything. So he
didn't want to get his hopes up.
Nothing at all. Yeah, because you know, he didn't want it to be a roller coaster. It's already stressful enough for him, and so Andrew, there was 2 picks before Cleveland. I looked at Coach Nixon. I said, hey, I mean, he could either go now, or Cleveland has 2 picks, the first 2 picks in the 4th round. So we were looking back at it, and 2 picks before that, Andrew turned around to Cody and said, hey, this could be it. Well, as soon as the other pick went, you know, phone rings. And, you know, that was it. And then just went on from there. He talked to them. And
you said the phone rang, and it hung up a couple times first, right?
3 times. Finally hung up. I picked it up on the 4th time. Something happened. You know, it said Ohio. Cody said, hey, it says Ohio. And as soon as he hit it, it went off. He called back. It went off again. And then
yes, this is the Browns. Is your refrigerator running? Yeah.
Yeah, right. No kidding. And so finally, on the 4th call, they used a different phone. I think it was their side because it kept hanging up on us.
Yeah.
And then they finally said something. Hey, we grabbed a different phone, and then Cody, you know, had the. Matter of fact, I videoed it. Cody got the call and got to talk to all 3 the coaches.
Yeah,
and general manager.
Such a great thing to hear the behind the scenes. We'd love to see the video too. And the aftermath of that, I know, is just crazy, because I was trying to get a hold of you. I'm sure other people were trying to get a hold of you guys. At Cleveland, you had a teleconference at Cleveland Media. You had a 5 a.m. flight out of LAX to get to Cleveland for his introductory press conference the next day. I mean, that's just got to be the most chaotic 12 hours of your life right there.
Yeah, we left.
And much less Cody's life.
Well, we left. You know, Cody goes outside. He's talking to their person, whoever handles their player personnel, or whoever it was. And Cody comes back in and says, hey, you guys, Mom, Dad, you guys busy for tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll cancel my pappy's breakfast tomorrow morning, son. I don't know.
It's going to mow the lawn.
Yeah, tell him okay. But all joking aside, he said, we have a 5:08 plane to catch on Saturday. So we had some people come over. Our family came over, and they finally left. Anyways, we ended up leaving Bakersfield 11:30 or 1:30 in the morning and driving down, no sleep. I get up at 5:30 with my youngest son, and so it was crazy. We slept on the plane, and we get there, and we're thinking we have a couple hours to get ready, and they're like, no. They put us in this limo deal and tell Cody, hey, we're going right to the place, changed in his suit in the bathroom, and because all those other guys were already there, you know, Corey Coleman was already there.
He'd been drafted Thursday. So
yeah, Thursday. Their 2nd round guy went, obviously, in the 2nd round. He already flew out. And then the other 2 guys that went before Cody already flew out, and they're back there. So Cody was the only West Coast, obviously the West Coast guy. So they're scrambling to try and get us out there as fast as they can. So we didn't have any time. We just got there, and then it was on from then, yeah.
I think as parents, we always want our children to outdo what we did in life, but at some point you just got to be amazed at what Cody not only has done, but what he's put up with to do it. I mean, not just all this craziness, but at USC with every possible scandal and story you could think of that he's right in the middle of it. I mean, it's really been something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he's outdone me by a million miles. I only went to junior college ball, but Zach, everything that he went through is something that just made him stronger, and not to be a better player, it just made him stronger that he could handle adversity as it came along. But things you can't control, you can't get upset about. He can't control a coach leaving or a coach having the issues that one of the coaches had, or a different coach. Those are things you can't. You pull yourself up. He's one of the team captains. They got together with Sua. They get in there and go, hey, we're playing for us. It doesn't matter who calls the calls or who calls the plays. You can't worry about what you cannot control. And that's the way he looked at it. Hey, he had 4 different centers his last year. Production goes down. He was making line calls, helping out the 4-string center to make the right line calls and his
So you don't even think about that, but that's a bigger deal than the coach, I think.
Yeah, but those things don't, people don't talk about those things. They don't, not only the coaches, but think about having a center, the 4th guy who's probably a redshirt at one point now becomes a starter, who's never gets any reps, and then makes calls that he has, and he does his best. Cody's never got on him. Hey, he's doing his best he can. But those are the type of things that is going to make him stronger for the next level.
Absolutely.
I mean, like I said, you can't control what you cannot control, and you can't do anything about what you can't control. Only what you can.
And as we show some photos here from USC and also from Centennial, say that 10 times fast. I don't know. I mean, after you go through that, then changing into a suit in a bathroom when you're having had a sleep all night is nothing. I mean, it just seems like it's easy.
Yeah.
Even though the rest of us, our head would be spinning and everything. He seems like he's got it together. The Browns, people they've been kind of the laughing stock, right? Of the NFL,
no
they've been sort of the
Mm-hmm.
they can't do anything right. Their name is the Browns, but their color is orange. The river got set on fire. I mean, everybody makes fun of them. Why is it the right fit for Cody? Do you believe that?
Well, I just a little bit that Cody told us, and talking to that coach, talking to Coach Jackson, just for a little bit, those guys, when they came in, from what I understand, cleaned house. Mm-hmm. Coach Jackson brought all brand new people. Everybody's brand new. So everybody's starting with a family atmosphere. Everybody's can get on the same page. There's no one advantage. And I don't know enough about them, but I do know that their vision is they want these guys to compete and be hungry and do the best that they can, and I think one of the things that I really liked about the Browns is they could have put stock into one guy. They had that number 1 pick. But you know as well as I do, one guy does not make a team. Mm-hmm. They got out and got 14 guys. 7 of those 14, or 8 of those 14, were All-Americans. And one of the things that I heard Cody say, and he can elaborate, one of those guys who's an All-American was battling for his life. That's the kind of stuff Coach Jackson, had leukemia, I believe, and guy, the Penn State guy was a walk-on. His brother's the quarterback, is the backup over for the Giants. He was a walk-on, becomes an All-American. He wants guys like Cody. They projected him to hold a clipboard down there. You know that. That's not something I'm telling you. But Cody battled, persevered, and wasn't afraid to compete. That's the kind of stuff that Coach Jackson and his administration and staff want guys to be hungry, not be satisfied.
Yeah, you have that side of it, and then on the other side, they hired all these analytics people,
Harvard
business people who understand mathematically what kind of players works, and that's got to make you feel confident too if they believe in you, like Absolutely. They obviously believe in Cody.
One thing I really like is what Cody shared with us when he was getting off. He went back there in March for 2 days, got to talk with Coach Jackson, and that guy just loved everything about him, but and didn't tell him, hey, this is yours or this is this. You got to come and compete, but I love what you stand for, and I love the things you did. You didn't, you didn't get down when times were bad. You just kept playing. But that guy believes in my kid. How can I not like a program that doesn't believe in my kid, or believes in my kid? I'm sorry. And that's where Cody, they made him feel more comfortable when we went back there. He talked X's and O's for almost an hour to that coach, and it just paid off. They moved up to get him. Mm-hmm. So it just shows that they believe in him, whether it's this year or next year or the next year after that. You know, RG3 has a 2-year contract, but Cody, it doesn't matter. You know, Cody's going to go. They got 5 quarterbacks, Connor Shaw, and then they have another kid. I apologize, I'm not sure who it is, but those guys are all going to compete. You know, and that's why he's talking to him now. That's why he's not here. He's behind those other 4 guys,
right?
Because they've all been there, so he's catching up with being the playbook, and I can assure you he'll be ready to go back there. That's what one of the things he became a starter at SC just because he knew the plays. He knew what was going on. He wanted to be prepared. He didn't want to be unprepared to when things come out. I'm not sure what the play is, because that just put you behind.
Yeah, and I mean, this is, again, behind the scenes. He's having an hour-plus conversation with Cleveland coaches about the playbook right now.
Absolutely.
Over Skype. So that his rookie camp begins next Thursday, a week from today. Yeah. So he's flying back out Tuesday, and that's really when it kind of begins. I mean, after that you have, I know, a rookie symposium, and you got mini camps and OTAs and all these. I mean, and at that point, his season kind of starts next week.
Absolutely. Well, honestly, Zach, his season started when he got the playbook, and I'm not trying to be funny about that. He really he got going, and because he wants to go back there, and he's got 6-8 days to be up to speed with some of those guys. So his season actually started when he got that playbook, in my opinion, and he knows it. And that's the way you got to look at it. Like, it is now a job, and you don't want to get fired from your job.
How old was he when and I know as a father you still give him life advice, but football advice at some point he's doing calculus while you're doing algebra. And I mean, at what point did it just stop where I can't help you on the field anymore? Son?
As far as quarterbacks, I know he's got a quarterback coach. His name is Steve Calhoun with Armed and Dangerous Football. Coached a lot of guys. We found Steve when Cody was 12. Mm-hmm. He was going to be in the 7th grade, going to be 13, and he's been with him ever since. And I always tell Steve this, and I tell people this all the time. Steve is one of the reasons why Cody is where he is. When I was looking at things quarterback-wise, listening to guys talk, Tony Dungy and guys talking about what they look for in a quarterback. Matter of fact, when Pete Carroll came here for the Hoffman Hospice, I was there, and I specifically asked Coach Carroll, I said, hey, what do you look for in a quarterback? His words to me were a guy that knows the plays and a guy can throw a catchable ball. So I'm like, all right, well, that's great advice. He said, didn't say anything about height, didn't say anything about size, didn't say how hard he could throw it. He's got to be able to throw a catchable ball, and he's got to know plays. He's got to have a head on his shoulders.
It's so funny you mention that, because I have a theory. The Browns had the 93rd pick, as we said, and then the first 2 picks of the 4th round. Well, guess who had 2 picks in between there, and why the Browns may not have wanted to wait? It was Pete Carroll and the Seahawks. I have a theory they were going to draft Cody to be a backup to Russell Wilson and maybe the quarterback of the future. I don't know. It's just my theory.
Well, you never know. We had heard later on from a friend of ours up in the Bay Area that possibly they were talking about. I mean, Dallas could have taken him. They really liked him. 49ers really liked him. Not saying they're going to draft him, but they really liked him if he's there later on, I think. But, those things are all, like I said, that's the stuff he didn't want to know about. You know, I don't.
You can drive yourself crazy with the rumors.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you're up like this. So that's why he was, that's why he didn't want to know anything. But, no, there was a lot of teams. He had a 4-hour workout with the San Diego Chargers, and it was about an hour of throwing, and then it lasted about 4 hours. So, and then the Dallas Cowboys really liked him. Pittsburgh Steelers talked to him at the Senior Bowl. Detroit Lions came in and talked to him. I mean, they have their guy, but there's a lot of teams that reached. New England Patriots, he worked out for them for an hour and a half and had a great workout with those guys. Had a great workout with the Rams. Obviously, he knew he wasn't going to the Rams, but he still went and worked out for him.
Right.
They appreciate it. You never say no to anybody. Because people come and go all the time.
That's absolutely true. Hey, we owe a break. Can you come back with us one more segment, Donnie?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
we'll have Donnie Kessler back one more segment after this. Again, we're waiting on Cody, but we'll have him at some point. This is BVarsity Live.